What is going on, YouTube? Northeast Ohio Sports Cards back for a video. We're gonna have a little chat today. A little topic that popped into my head today. Some stuff I've been seeing. This has been on my mind for a while. But one particular thing kind of brought it to the forefront, and I decided it was time to talk about it. And this goes across everything. This will apply to sports cards. This will apply to Marvel cards, Pokemon, comic books, whatever, you name it. And everyone needs to realize that both sides of this coin need each other. So what am I talking about? Collectors versus investors. The purist in it for the love of the game collector versus the evil basement dwelling, greedy, money grubbing investor that has no love for the product. There's this constant push and pull between the collector and the investors. And what really brought this up and brought this to the forefront of my mind is the Marvel stuff that we talked about on the channel earlier this week. So I've been in a bunch of Marvel trading card groups for a few months now, actually, just kind of lurking. I bought these back in the spring and then I just kind of hung around it. And you see this, if you're not into the Marvel stuff, I get it. But you see this in the base or in the sports card groups too. And all of a sudden, the people in the Marvel groups, not all of them, a portion of the people in the Marvel groups are mad or upset that the evil investors are coming now. And they want it to go back to the way that it was when they could get stuff cheap and just collect and their niche little thing. And what it really reminds me of, and I saw this on one of the Facebook pages, when someone's into a niche band and it gets popular and then they get mad about it because other people found out about their band. This is their band and now everyone knows about it. And I see this really going on over there. And you see the same thing on the sports card side of things. People complaining about flippers and what about the kids and buying out all the product and the increased prices and how someone's supposed to even get started in this, that, and the other thing. And I get it. There's some downside to it too. But the net result is that we all need each other. As much as the evil investors get mad at the purist hobbyists about them complaining and crying on Facebook and this, that, and the other thing. And as the evil investors, we need the collectors. They're our buyers. Eventually, whatever we're flipping, selling, grading to sell, whatever it is, comics, comic book cards, Giannis PSA 10s, the end user of whatever it is someone that wants to collect that. Whether it's for investment purposes, which means they want to hold on to it for a while, or collecting because they're a Bucks fan or a Spider-Man fan or an X-Men fan, or they like Pikachu, whatever. But you need the collectors. The evil investors need the collectors, or we don't have a market to sell to. And on the flip side, the collectors, I get it that, the evil investors could be a pain in the butt, but wouldn't you want more eyes on the thing that you're doing? Some of those people, some are going to come in, whatever it is. Once again, sports cards, Marvel trading cards, comics, whatever. Some are going to come in and they're going to treat it like scorched earth. They're going to come in, they're going to, pillage, plunder, whatever, make their money and get out. But a certain percentage of people are going to fall into whatever the hobby is, whatever niche you're into, and they might actually like it and they might actually hang around. And isn't that what you want to see? As a collector, don't you want to be welcoming and bringing people in and educating them on the thing that you're loved and are passionate about for the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Shouldn't you want to grow the hobby that you're in instead of getting mad and turning people away? And also, I mean, look at it from this side. Worst case scenario. Well, I'm going to keep using the Marvel as an example because it's what not set me off, but it's what brought this topic to mind. If you're sitting on if you've been collecting this stuff for years and you have sets after sets after sets or whatever, you got stuff laying around, duplicates, whatever. I'm not saying you need to go on eBay and sell your whole collection or on a Facebook group and sell everything that you own. But guess what? If it was me, this is the moment I've been waiting for. Holy hell. People have finally taken notice to the thing I love, and now they want in too, whether it's because they like it or because they're in it for the money, whatever. But worst case scenario, if you hate the evil investors, profit off of us or profit off of them. I fall a little bit of both on this category, specifically to the Marvel stuff. Take their money, sell the stuff that you don't need. Now you get a bunch of money. You could sit on it and buy the stuff that you've been missing. Sure, prices might be inflated, but it's all relative because you're going to be able to sell the stuff that you've been collecting for 10x what it was worth 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it might cost you 10x for the thing that you really want to buy, but it all balances out. Or just hold the money. And if you think the evil investors are going to leave in 6 months to a year, eventually prices will circle back around. It'll set a new floor. It's probably going to be higher than the old floor. Rinse, repeat, and things get back to normal in your nice little world. But I've never understood the push-pull between the investors and the collectors. And maybe it's just because it's driven by the whole social media shenanigans. Facebook's a cesspool 9 times out of 10. Sometimes there's some really good conversation out of there. And I will say specifically to the Marvel groups, there is some really good talk on there for most of the people, but there is a subset. And like I said, you could find this in any hobby that you're in. I'm not picking on the Marvel guys. It's just what brought this to the top of my head. So take no offense, Marvel Facebook people. Trust me, the sports card people in their Facebook groups are way worse than you guys. On that side, you hear about, a kid's never going to get into this anymore, yada, 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 for the kids, hashtag for the kids, don't buy all the product, don't flip the product for the kids. And part of me gets that. And another part of me is, you know what? Some of the kids that you're trying to protect are the ones sitting in a basement running bots, buying this stuff up off the Target website at 13, 14 years old and flipping this stuff to the evil investors or the breakers or whatever. You'd be surprised the number of young kids that I run into, whether it be at card shows or online, that are way more sophisticated than you give them credit for and are stacking money on mom's credit card. And when I say stacking money, like profit. So, and I get like younger kids, they're not doing that. But some, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds absolutely are. They were running game in shoes and now they came over to us. And that's the other thing you see. And I'm guilty of this. I'm really guilty of this. I call it out all the time. When the sneakerheads came into the sports card market. Oh, man. So I get it. I was mad. Go back to shoes, sneaker boy, sneakerhead, whatever. Get out of here. I was doing the same thing. And a lot of it was just stereotypical stuff. So, like, I get where everyone's coming from, but we all need to realize that we all need each other. The evil investors need the collectors need the evil investors, or at least should want them, welcome us, teach us something, rip us off, whatever. But don't cry about it on a Facebook post because you're mad because the thing you got into got popular. I will never understand that. I will never understand it. And I will never, I understand the war between, to a degree, investors and collectors. And the sides don't get along that well, and they really should. They fuel each other. The hobby is whatever it is the train going down the tracks. And both of us need to fuel it to keep the train going. So that's my little mini rant for today, I guess. Not a rant. I don't know if this was a rant or whatever, but let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I just saw some stuff on those Facebook pages, and I see it in the sports card stuff all the time too. It was really interesting this last week, seeing how quickly the evolution of it happened. Because coming from a majority of a sports card background and having dabbled in this stuff, 20 years ago and more recently, it was very interesting to see it happen so quickly and on the ground floor. Now, sports card guys, we're used to this stuff. Gary V fires off a tweet, sports card prices triple in an hour, and no one blinks an eye. Like, holy hell, where'd that come from? Oh, Gary V tweeted, or whoever, whatever. Someone had a 50-point game winner. Oh, their prices quadrupled overnight. Doesn't make any goddamn sense, but here we are. We're used to seeing that kind of stuff, and specifically the Marvel trading card people aren't. So all of a sudden, their little hobby's been cruising along, and there's a set pricing for most of this stuff, and yeah, it slowly crept up during the pandemic, just like all collectibles did. And now all of a sudden, the eye of Sauron, the sports card investors, have turned their attention to the next thing. It went from sports cards to Pokemon to now this, and who knows what else in between. And the eye has turned and focused on this little niche hobby. And then we came in there all of a sudden, or people, talking very broadly here, came in there and said, you know what? Like, Hulk Hogan's cards are going crazy. UFC cards are going crazy. Man, this Spider-Man stuff sure is popular. How come his PSA 10s aren't selling for astronomical sums of money? Maybe I should buy some of these up. There's been rumors that some cook groups were in on pumping this stuff up initially, whatever it was. And I think it was heading this direction. The Tinder was dry, ready and waiting for this. And, the spark got hit, and now here we are. And it does, as we are well aware, coming from sports cards, this is, we're used to this. These other hobbies that we invade and pillage and plunder aren't. So they're wondering why out of nowhere a box that was selling for $400 literally 2 days ago is now $1,000 box. And why did everything get bought out on eBay? And why did graded versions of these cards quintuple in a matter of a week? And there's some interesting thoughts floating around, like, specifically back to the Marvel stuff. Like, is it a bubble? Will it last? You're seeing all the same conversations that we see on the sports card sides. People beginning to figure out grading and all that, and a lot of misconceptions about grading. And this, that, and the other thing. And it's just interesting to watch in the very early days of all this stuff sweeping in. But yeah, we need both sides of the coin. It dies. Whatever it is, sports cards, comics, dies on the vine without both sides. Yeah, maybe the collectors can, if the evil investors aren't in there buying all this stuff and drawing a bunch of attention to it, the companies aren't going to produce, innovate, make better, cooler products for you to go out and buy and collect. I'll be very curious if the Marvel thing actually takes off. What do Marvel products look like in a year? Is someone sitting in an office somewhere in Disney going, or Upper Deck? I think Upper Deck has the license for most of this stuff now. Going, wow, we're seeing huge upticks and stuff. Maybe we need to circle back. And like I said, I believe it's been trending this way for a while, but now all of a sudden it's had just a massive bump overnight. But yeah, make friends. If you're an evil investor, this is my challenge to all of you. If you are an evil investor, make a hobby/collector friend or buddy. And on the flip side, if you are the hobbyist, purist, collector, elitist, let's get off my lawn, go back to your computers and your graphs and your charts collector, welcome an even evil investor with open arms. Maybe, just maybe, you guys can meet in the middle and we can all be friends and we can all either profit or enjoy collecting, or maybe a little bit of both. Maybe the evil investor finds out that, man, this Marvel stuff's fun, or this comic book stuff's fun, or these Pokemon cards really, rub a nostalgia vibe, and this is great. And maybe the purist collector that's been in whatever niche it is that they've been in can make a little scratch off this and then use that to who knows what, buy something that they've always wanted, get their wife a nice present, buy something for the kids, who knows, whatever, get that PC item that they've been hunting forever because now the eyeballs are on it and they could sell whatever it is that they're into, sell off a little bit of their collection for a really good profit. And then everybody wins. So that is your challenge. Hobbyists, investors, unite. It's 2021. It's a new year. We're only a month in. Let's all be nice to each other. That's all I got for you guys today. Peace. I forgot YouTube stuff. Like, comment, sub. Peace.